Hello Pisces, thank you for coming back. If you're a returning subscriber, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is a general reading. I hope you enjoy it. It may apply to you or it may apply to somebody else that is close to you at this time. If you have strong influences in your birth chart associated with another sign, please feel free to cross-watch to my other videos for further insights. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe, and yeah, because that will help to circulate my videos to other people. I have shuffled and laid out the cards. I use the 12 houses of the zodiac, and so as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming into bear for you at this time. So now in the first house we have Jupiter Abundance, lovely card coming in for you. Your first house is the house of yourself, your appearance, your physical body, your vitality. It's also your self-oriented interests, how you make your way outwards in the world, what you're projecting to others. So this can be your characteristics, your personality, and your sense of independence as well. So all these factors come in and make up the outer you, and what other people will see as well. So now with Jupiter Abundance coming in, this brings in joyfulness and generosity. It brings in faith, and it can bring in divine help as well. So you may be receiving this this kind of energy coming into your life, or you could be projecting it as well, so others are noticing, or you may just be assisting others, and this is how you're being perceived right now. But whatever it is, Jupiter brings in abundance, and that can be in all forms. So that's it can bring in windfalls, obviously, but it can also bring in, as I said, faith and just divine help when you really need it. And you could be on the receiving end of generosity from others as well. It brings in luck, strength, positivity. So you could just be needing strength if you're in some kind of physical activity, or perhaps you've been ill and now you're starting to recover. It could come in a variety of ways. This is also the yes card. So if you're wanting to start something for yourself, perhaps it's a new physical regime, or you're just thinking about some things, and it's to do with your own personal interests, then this is the yes card. It brings in blessings. It also brings in reward for effort. So this, you could be busy doing certain things for yourself, and you're now going to start seeing the fruits of your labor, so to speak. The other side of this, it could make you a little bit opinionated, overconfident that things are going so great that you don't have to worry too much about things, and you just let things slip as well. So being complacent can come in, or just overconfident about what has come in for you. So just be aware of that. So it's like your the way you are projecting yourself to others, you can slip off and go the other side as well. It can be also too much of everything, and that could indicate weight gain or overindulgence of all sorts. So yeah, so those are the two sides of Jupiter coming in. Then in the second house we have Aquarius, I know. So your second house is to do with your income, your money that's coming in. It's also to do with everything that you own, so your possessions. It could be property, any kind of possession, but property is also indicated, or land, real estate, that sort of thing. It's also the house of your self-worth. So how you view yourself, and what is in your life that brings you self-worth, or how you generate it for yourself. It's also your value systems, so what you value in your life, and that could just be you and your own personal talents and abilities which you value highly, which is wonderful actually, or it could be materialistic types of things. So now it's your relationship with all your possessions as well. So now with this coming in, Aquarius is a very far-seeing sign. It's about visions of the future. So you could be sensing trends in the future. or you could be sensing directions that you should go or things that you should be doing for yourself right now. You could just be seeing trends or seeing the market or seeing how things are going. And you're just sensing almost in advance what it is you need to do for yourself. It can also bring in reasoning and detachment, not overly emotional. So being a Piscean, that may be difficult for you, but you may just need to apply that at this time to do with certain things in your life. It could be property, it could be perhaps what you're charging for your services. There's lots of ways that can come in, but you will need to pull back and just detach and think coolly about what's going on in all these areas. It can also bring in technology for you. So this is Aquarius always rules advanced tech. So this can be really cutting edge stuff, or it could be just an upgrade from what you've currently been using. So whether this is to do in your daily life or the acquiring of certain things that you're involved with, tracking down certain possessions, you're using online technology or something like that. It also brings in speculation. So you could be looking at speculating in certain things. So whether this is buying and selling property or whether this is to do with money, the turnover of that. So that can come in as well because you're watching trends, and this is what Aquarius is all about. It's also inspired thinking, so like genius ideas or just incredible ideas coming to you. You could get that stroke of intuition which leads to something amazing. So speculation comes up again for you in your 8th house. So this is definitely a trend, something that you could be catching on to or seeing at this time. But it really does open your mind. You're receiving, it could even be some like a download. You're receiving information about something, or you're just able to see something. It's your inner knowing, your GPS, and so on. You could also be in for a surprise of some sort that could come in for you. You may be on your own in something, facing a challenge, and you're having to do it on your own. You could also be involved with unconventional, eccentric, or different people or technology, or just something that is unusual may come in with this card as well. It could be just a position that you want or something that you've been looking for, and it's not mainstream. That's what Aquarius covers. With this card, you could also be receiving assistance from family and friends that are going to be supportive of something that you want to do. That could come in for you as well. Then in the 3rd house, we have Jupiter return benefits, another Jupiter card, another lovely card coming in for you. This is coming in your 3rd house. Your 3rd house is the house of communication. So this is all forms of communication, whether it's written, verbal, body language. This house also rules documents and contracts. It's also your environment as well, and also education, learning, short journeys. It can be even interactions with your neighbors. It can be interactions with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, and so on. So with this Jupiter return benefits coming in, that it literally does bring that in for you, but it has another quality, another layer to it, in that a return is when the planet does a full revolution and it comes back to the same place that it started at, and it does that about once every 12 years in Jupiter's case. So this could indicate that something is coming back to you from before. So whether that's a decade ago or slightly longer, it could be anywhere in that period, but something that you planted, or it was an idea or a dream or a plan or a business, or words that you put down or words that you spoke, something that you communicated or wanted to communicate or had plans to. Perhaps it was shelved, perhaps it didn't take off, or it was buried, or it just died, or it just was never really, it never gained the momentum that it should have. It could even have been buried. In other words, it was assumed dead, and now all of a sudden something comes out of the ashes of that. So it's from something from the past, and it comes back to you now, and it brings a reward or a benefit, or it starts to bear fruit. Okay, so it could even be a phoenix rising from the ashes. It could even, as I said, be something written that you are now going to publish, or you're going to write, or you're actually going to push forward in some way. Or it could just be something amazing that you said to somebody, and now that is coming back to you, and bringing rewards with it. This is also about seizing the moment, because this return, when it comes, is quick. It's not going to be around for very long. So any opportunity or any kind of benefit that comes to you, which looks like it needs following up, follow, track it down, see it right through. Try them all. Whatever comes to you, it might be only a few things, or it could be one thing, but you must follow up on it and work the opportunity, because in there is the nugget that you want, the nugget of gold that you want. So it's preparation meets opportunity. That's what this card is about as well. So that brings in luck. But it's about being prepared. And then when you are prepared and you see the opportunity, you go for it, and everything just falls into place. That's how this works. It could also just be freedom to pursue or advance your goals in some way. So maybe you've just been waiting for that door to open, or that opportunity to come to you, and now you've literally been given the freedom. You're handed the keys, and you can go with it, go after it with great energy and passion. It's about optimism. It brings in optimism as well. You could also be in not only physical communication, you could be in spiritual communication as well. Whatever it is, you've got to work at it. Something will come to you, but in order to get the benefit out of it, you need to grab it and go with it. So seize the moment. As I said, publishing may come in for you, but it's quick and it's an opportunity. There could also be a trip, a short trip. These are local journeys. This is not long distance. This is a local trip. It could be an unexpected, or something lands in your lap, or you receive a gift, or it's a spontaneous offer to go away somewhere. Grab it with both hands, enjoy it. Then in the 4th house, we have Mercury retrograde reinvention. So now with this card, in your 4th house, your 4th house is your house of home. It's your physical home. It's also the atmosphere in your home. It could even be the people in your home. Or it could be that you're moving home, or preparing something, or changing something, renovating, so on. It can also be your relationship to your family foundation, your roots, where you came from. Your ancestry, your ethnic identity, and so on. So it's your relationship with that and everything that came with it. So now with this card coming in, this is a time to pause and just wait it out. Because with this card coming in, you may experience a period of unpredictable results from something that you want to start. So best not to start, really, anything, or put anything into motion, or make any big purchases, or anything of that nature. You may be facing delays, unpredictable results, or things will just go wrong, really. So it's back to the drawing board. If you're trying to do something, back to the drawing board, to go over it as many times as needed until it's 100% right, because you could be missing something, or you've overlooked something, or there's a mistake hidden in there somewhere and you haven't picked it up. Or it could just be something that hasn't really been addressed and you don't want it to go wrong. So go over things again. This card is everything to do with so reinvention, but it can also be redo, replace, rework, revision, revise, repeat. It's about going over things again and again. So you could purchase something or try to do something, and it will go wrong, and you're going to have to replace it or redo it, or something of that nature. Take it back and get another one, that kind of thing. It's also about postponing important undertakings. So just postpone, if you can possibly do that, postpone at this time. This is going to be for the month of August, so possibly a week or longer. It just depends on the circumstances. You'll just have to feel the energies out and see how things are going. It's also, so just wait if you can, postpone. It's also about backing up all equipment and tech, because things can just bomb or disappear or go wrong as well. No big purchases or expenditure at this time. check and double check all contracts. You could also go off track on something as well, be sort of head off in the wrong direction on something and realize that you've now got to backtrack to start again. It's that kind of energy. So this is actually, as I said, it can be daunting or seem like, oh no, I don't know, I can't do this. But it really is an opportunity to get a better result. And you will get a better result once this period has passed, because you've now had time to look at it properly. And you will pick up and come out with a better plan. Then in the 5th house, we have solar eclipse revolution. So now in your spread, you actually have the opposites of really powerful cards, which is unusual in a spread. You've got 2 sets. So this is the first one of the first set. This is coming up in your 5th house. This is the house of your creativity, your play, your recreational activities, all forms of recreational activities. It can be sports or clubs. It could even be a book club or any kind of setting where you're involved in activities, enjoyable activities. It's also the house of, as I said, it's creativity, all forms of creativity, not necessarily artistic. But it's also the house of children, your children or other children that you are associated with at this time. It's also the house of love affairs. So now with solar eclipse revolution coming in, changes are coming in whichever form, in any one of those areas, or it could be multiple of those areas. If you know that changes need to be made in any one of those areas, this is something that's been pressing on you, or you've been aware of for some time and you know it needs to be done, then do it. Because if you don't, it's going to be changed for you anyway, and sometimes those are more painful. So now with solar eclipse revolution, changes are coming. Initiate if you know something, otherwise a necessary change or upheaval will be upon you. And it's going to be swift. You'll need to make a decision of some kind. And you're going to be in unfamiliar territory. You're going to feel like an unfamiliar place, out of your comfort zone. And it could cover any one of those areas. Often eclipses deal with relationships of all kinds. So this could be something to do with your children, or a love affair, or some other person that you're close to, that you're perhaps going on, involved in some kind of activity with, whether it's a sporting or a fun activity. But something comes about quickly, and you need to make a decision to actually change something, or it will be changed for you. You may also need to fix or change something in any one of those areas. It really is like, it forces you to be 100% present, this card. So there's no looking back or forward. You're absolutely faced with the situation head on. You have to deal with it straight away. And when you fully put your full attention onto the issue and actually bring your full presence to bear on it, then you will be able to see and fix or change or create something better, and it will be much, much better for you. So it's a really ideal opportunity to actually tackle something and deal with it, and put it away. But in any case, it will bring in change for you, and this is important. This is kind of following a little bit of a theme here. You've got it in the 5th house, you've got 6th house, and you've also got 7th house. They're all kind of related. So I feel this is all 6th house driven, and it's going to affect this part of your life, and it's going to affect your relationships. So with the 6th house changes going on, it's going to spill over into this area and also to your relationships. So we're just going to watch the theme now and see how it unfolds. In your 6th house, we have lunar eclipse change. So this, as I said, is the first set of opposite cards. So this is solar and this is lunar. This is more far-reaching, if I can say that, because whatever comes in with this card, usually once the change has occurred, it unfolds between 6 weeks and 6 months. So now this is in your house of work, your house of work projects, workplace, work colleagues. And if you're not actually working somewhere, perhaps you have run your own business or you do independent projects, it's the mastery of that, your mastery of your craft, whatever it is that you do. So it's all about that. It's also about your daily routines. It's about your health and diet. And it's also the house of pets. So changes across the board there, whichever, it could be in one of the areas or all three or just two, however. So now with lunar eclipse coming in, changes yet again, and this is necessary, inevitable change. So this again could be something that you were aware of, and it was just under the surface, and it was something that you didn't have the energy to tackle, or you couldn't tackle it for whatever reason, or you just overlooked it. But it's been sitting there under the surface, bubbling away, and now it bubbles over. So it's now front and center. You have to deal with it. Inevitable, necessary change, upheaval, some kind of upheaval. It will be abrupt, endings and beginnings. And your life path is indicated here, which also is coming up in your 10th house. So whatever it is you've been doing, whatever you've been working at, or it could even be to do with your health and diet, it's really is a shift. And you literally have to, all hands on deck to change it now, to change over and rearrange things in your life. You may have expected it to come, but not the force of it. So it will bring with it quite a bit of force and magnitude. There are also indicated with the cycles. So it could be cycles of all kinds. So you're riding the waves with something as well. It could even be to do with health, feminine issues, or a female influence comes up with this card as well. So if you are a female, you may be facing feminine issues or cycles of some sort, or it is somebody in your environment. It could even be somebody you work with, or you are just going through cycles and fluctuations in your work life or in your health. You could also be facing an operation of some, this is a medical operation of some kind. Perhaps that's the upheaval and the change of life that you've got to go through, changing the way you do things, your health, your diet, the way you're doing things. It could also be, this card can bring in also issues to do with your your eyes, your vision. And that is a change. So perhaps something will, an eye operation will improve your eyesight, or you'll be changing your lenses or something to do with that. It could also just simply be the changing of old habits, because the moon is always to do with our habits. It's our habitual emotions and the habits that we live with all every day and what we've set up for ourselves. So it's changing all of that as well. It looks to me, as I said, because the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th house, you've got changes, and they're all kind of following on from one to the other. Whatever changes come in with this, as I said, it's going to affect your 5th house and it's going to affect your 7th. So certain issues in these houses may be changing according to this, or you may be on hold while you're changing this. So all of them are related in some way. Then in the 7th house, we have void, of course, moon missing. So with this, another moon card, with this coming in, your 7th house is your house of relationships. And it can be your love relationship, or it could be your some other close personal relationship, or it could be a business partnership. So it rules everything to do with that, and it also rules the lower courts as well. So now, with this coming in void, of course, moon, I always just say avoid, basically. What it is basically telling you that you're going to have to just put your plans on hold, whatever you've got in your relationships coming up. It could even be a marriage. If possible, please just put that on hold or postpone for a while. It could, as I say, it normally is about a week's worth, because this is the moon goes void, of course, between aspects and signs. So it's not normally a long period. So I would say about a week, or if you could just shift the dates on whatever it is that you're trying to do. So put something on hold until the storm passes, because as I said, with the changes going on in your work life, and also in your there's things going on in your home, and there's also things going on with your children, your creativity, your love affair, and your recreational activities. So wait until the storm has passed. Let things settle themselves without your interference. Let things settle. And don't take any new action at this time with certain things. Just stay as you are. So just keep going as you are. Rest, sleep, gather yourself, and just let the storm pass, and then you can continue with what it is you need to do. It could also be that something has been overlooked or missed somehow in whatever it is that you're doing within the 7th house. If you do initiate something, you could get a no result or the wrong result or a disappointing result. You could also be in blissful ignorance about something. As I said, something gets overlooked and you're just completely unaware of it. This can also bring in delays as well. So it's just something to bear in mind. Just wait until the things have settled down, let things unfold by themselves, and then I'm quite sure you will feel the right time to move forward. Then in the 8th house, we have Moon Soul, another moon card. It kind of follows on from there as well. The 8th house is the deeper emotional and material resources in a partnership. This can be in a love partnership, and it also can be in a business partnership, or any kind of partnership really. But it covers all kinds of emerging of your emotional and your material resources. So that can be money. It can be. It's also the deeper sexuality between love partners. It's everything to do with that as well. So it's also the house of your bigger finances. So this is investments, inheritances, insurances, banking, tax, accounting, legacies, trusts, all those sorts of things come in under this. And it's also the house of handling other people's money. So you may be in a profession where you handle other people's money, or you could be just handling someone else's money, whether it's a family member or a group of some kind. So it's really quite a deep house. It can also be the house of endings and beginnings. Sort of psychic development comes in on this as well. So now, with this coming in, it's a moon card. So we're dealing with cycles again. But what it is asking you to do is to follow your instincts and your feelings in this house. There may be high emotion, or just feeling very sensitive or very shy. It's also about memory. The past can come back, or something from the past can come back, or someone from the past. But it's also about memories as well, dealing with the past. Something could be hidden or obscured from you at this time. And then if we go on to the practical side of the finance, this could be covering the stock exchange. Again, speculation comes in. It came in earlier. So you could be looking to invest, or you're tracking something on the system, but the stock exchange follows the moon cycle. So that's you can do research on that and find out about that. But it's all about cycles. It's also about creativity, about imagination. And crowds, the crowds come in here. So it could be, as I said, following trends, and this came in before as well. So following trends, tracking certain things, where to invest, how to invest, where's the best way to invest, so on. It can also bring in fame as well. So maybe you're being noticed for something that you're doing. This card also brings in security, feeling secure, and bringing that in for you and your significant other, or for your partnership. Cycles, as I said, come in. If it's a close personal love relationship, one of you could be feeling a little bit smothered, or a little bit like you need your space. And there's nothing wrong with that, to retreat and withdraw and recenter yourself before coming back again. Women's issues and women's wisdom can also come in with this card as well. Then in the 9th house, we have Pisces, I believe. So the 9th house is quite a broad house. It's basically you meeting the world, or the world meeting you in some way. And so it covers international travel, it covers exploration, adventure, It also covers higher education. So this is university or adult education. It's expansion, really, expansion of the mind as well. It can also cover teaching as a profession or something that you're getting involved in or you're receiving. It also covers publishing, public relations, promotional work of all kinds. It's also the higher courts, law. Law comes in under this house as well. Yeah, so it's got quite a broad following. It's also it also covers philosophy. It covers religion and all kinds of belief systems. So whatever it does it for you. It's also the house of in-laws as well. So now with Pisces, I believe, very spiritual card actually, but it does also have two sides to it. So this could be that you perhaps need a spiritual retreat or some kind of escape. It's got a spiritual or a mystic side attached to it. It could even be a yoga retreat if you want to do that. It could also be a religious retreat if that is what you're involved in at this time. So it could be travel to water, a body of water, or to the ocean. If you are doing that and you're traveling to a really foreign place, just be aware of the medication that's required. Either you taking medication with you or with you having to take or have access to medication or some kind of inoculation or whatever it is about where you're going. Just be careful because you may, on the other side, you may have to purchase medication or you may, an allergy might appear or it's a reaction to the inoculation that you've had. Something like that could come up for you. This also, this card, if none of that is applying for you, it could also be that faith and trust is being restored for you in some way, or you're finding faith and trust in something. It's also about surrender and deep feelings and sensing things. On the other side of that, it could be that you need to put in boundaries. You could be following the wrong crowd or involved with people who do not have your best interests at heart. So it's putting in boundaries there. You could be feeling a little bit confused about certain things. Something is obscured or it's not clear. It could be that as well. You could also just be having great feelings of compassion to something that you're doing or some belief system that you're enjoying. Or it could be, like I said, a course of study. And you could also be just pursuing various interests in religious fields or the arts. And this is music, poetry. It could be your dream life. It's painting. It's all access to your higher imagination and access to the divine. So mysticism comes in here, imagination, all of those aspects. And because this house covers publishing and promotional work, it could be something that you've been working on because it came up in your third house as well, which is your house of communication. It could be something that you've been wanting to do or something you've been wanting to write or something you've been wanting to transmit to the world in some way. And this brings that in for you, and it's harnessing that deeper knowledge to transmit. It could be that because it could be going online, meeting the world in some way, having access to foreign ideas, concepts, cultures, religions, foreign people even. It's the interaction with them, import, export. It could be religious artifacts, who knows? It's something to do with that, but it's international and it's also about your belief systems, your deeper self, and access to all of that. Then in the 10th house, we have North Node, Life's Purpose, another beautiful card. And this is, again, the opposite of you've got two sets of cards coming in, which are at the different ends of the spectrum. So the North Node, Life's Purpose, is really a wonderful card to be having in your 10th house. Your 10th house is your house of your career, your ambition, your fame, your reputation, your public status. It's also the house of authority figures. So whether this is a family member or somebody that you're involved with, it could even be a mentor, or authority figures in general. So this can be the law, the police, the military, something like that. With this coming in, it's about reaching for your highest potential. The highest vision that you have of yourself. And the opportunity for you to do that now is really right on your doorstep. Literally, the door will swing open, and you will be suddenly find yourself in a place of your highest good. So you'll be moved forward in some way to where you need to be. So it's right place, right time. This card also brings in positive karma. So this is karma that you've earned, positive karma in past lives. And if that's not your bag, you're not interested in that, then this could be just from work or from whatever it is you've done in your lifetime, and it comes back now to you to support you and help you in some way. So doors open. It's also about meeting your soul family. So this can be from past lives, or it could just be people that you suddenly feel deeply connected to in this lifetime. So these are people that are like-minded, or you just have an instant connection with them and you feel very connected to them. And they're in your life for a very, very special purpose and a reason. And it's about linking up with them at this time. Very, very important. So they're either going to help you, or they're going to stir certain talents in you, or they're just going to activate something in you at this time. So show your talents now. Whatever you've got, pull it out the bag. This is the time to do it. It's also about starting a business or a venture of some kind. This card has got destiny written all over it. So really your destiny comes in here. This is about a change of direction if a change is required, or you just could be going really far forward in whatever it is that you're doing. It's also about the pot of gold, finally reaching that after a period of perhaps lifetimes, or even just long toil in this lifetime, or just a difficult period, the pot of gold. You could also be, as I said, it could be an authority figure or a mentor or somebody very important that's coming into your life. And this could be part of your soul family, or it's somebody that is going to lead you or help you or assist you or give you a leg up in some way, or just show you the ropes, right? Very, very important card. This is really, really important for you. And some of it's going to spill over into your 11th house, which we're going to discuss now as well. So 11th house, fire element, desire. So 11th house is your house of friendships. It's a house of networking and groups. So these are people that you're networking with, people that you're connecting with. And if you're meeting people from your soul family and they're coming to you, then this is going to be really important, whether it's a friendship or a connection of some kind. But this could be you interacting in groups of all kinds. So this is associations, societies, clubs, groups of all kinds, and also social groups. It's also the house of your personal hopes and dreams, your visions for yourself, your dreams, and your own hobbies and interests. It's also the house of trends, social group consciousness, global consciousness, social trends, social reform, so on. So if any of those things are appealing to you or you're busy with, which could very well have come up in your 9th house, which dealt a lot with that, this is coming in for you now. What it means is there's movement and change here. So it's quick. It's quick coming in for you. You're going to get fired up about something. Your passion is going to be stirred about something. You're also going to find your courage as well. So this is getting things started, determination, energy, action, creativity. You're going to see and have a new perspective on something as well. It's also a time to be honest and assertive. Put your cards on the table. So whether that's with a friendship or in a group, or just with what you want, your personal hopes and dreams, your hobbies and your interests. You must also look after your own interests as well, because somebody may try to claim something that you've done. It could also be that your ego or somebody else's ego is really in your face at this time, or it could just be you, as I said. So keep that in check, or you may have to deal with someone else's ego as well. Then in the in the 12th house, we have South Node Life's Debts. So this is the other half of the North Node card. This is the opposite end of the spectrum. So now falling in your 12th house is the house of unconscious, your unconscious self. So this is your drives, your hidden motivations, or what goes on under the surface. Some of it you may be aware of, some of it you may not. It's also the house of retreat and withdrawal, seclusion, meditation, your spiritual life, mysticism. It's also the house of healing. The other side of that is the house of escapism, addictions of all kinds, endings and beginnings. It's also the house of your karmic inheritance. So now it can also bring your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So whether that's a hospital or a banking institution or a government institution or a university or a library, any kind of institution, it's your experiences there. So whether you're going with somebody or you're going yourself. And it did come up briefly that you may have a hospital visit of some kind. It could be that. Something you're overcoming or you're dealing with now finally, because this is old stuff, all right? South Node, life's debts. This is about you need to drop your baggage. It's weighing you down and holding you back. So anything that has been lurking in your unconscious or anything that you've kind of stuffed down and just refused to deal with, now is the time. You have to deal with it. You have to drop the baggage. You have to take whatever it is that's been holding you back and actually deal with it now. It really, really is so important, because in order to follow this wonderful life path change which you're undergoing, or this renewed life path, or this wonderful opportunity that's coming to you, amongst all the many other opportunities you have, in order to fully harness everything that's going on in your chart, this is going to be key. You really have to deal with a whole lot of things now, anything that's been weighing you down. So dig deep, cast off what is not working for you, whether that's a diet or a state of mind or an attitude or where you're living or what you're doing, how you're making your way in the world, what you think about deeply, whatever it is that's not working for you. If you're facing blocks and restrictions, that is a sure sign that you need to change direction, okay? So deal with whatever is unfinished or unresolved in your life. Now is the opportunity, because this is the turning point. It's a wake-up call. Endings and beginnings are indicated here. And making new contacts as well, which came up again twice now already. This is about really connecting with people who are going to support you and help you in your life. It's a deep, instant connection that you have with them. So let go of what isn't working for you and follow those contacts, because they're going to lead you where you need to be. It's also changing old habits that you have, which came up before as well in your particularly in your 6th house and your 7th house. Changing old habits, old ways of doing things. You need to really change it up. From a health perspective, addictions could be coming up that you now need to deal with, or could be allergies, or just something that's been lurking for a long time and just never been really resolved or sorted out. Now's your chance. Okay, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a wonderful month and enjoy what's coming to you. And I will see you next time, and take care.